Hey guys, I'm going to be talking to you today about meal plans, writing out your meal plan. Because I felt it was maybe time to make a video and kind of reach out to you, talk to you, because the pattern I'm seeing and my team is seeing is that these last 2 months, a lot of people who are doing, PIO or 21 Day Fix or any of the Beachbody programs, in terms of following the fix eating, the clean eating, people are not writing out their meal plans. They're not doing it. So it's really important to do this. And I'm going to tell you that, after being on this program for close to a year, more times than not, I am still writing out my meal plan. The only times I don't is, for example, when I know like a day in advance I'm going to be on the road with family, let's say, and I know that like I'm not going to have my fridge and I can't like necessarily pack everything in a Tupperware or everything in like a little baggie that I want, and I know I'm going to have to eat out somewhere, then those days I will really rely heavily on my 21 Day Fix app on my phone. So that's one of the ways that if you know if you cannot write out your meal plan and you quote have to wing it, but for me, trying to wing it still means recording every little morsel that goes in my mouth, but I put it in my 21 Day Fix app. So my first question to you is, how many of you have gone ahead and loaded that program into your phone? That's something, it's a really valuable tool. You've got to have it in your phone so that you can keep track of what you're putting in your mouth. That's the first thing. The other thing is that it's not easy, and I know that. And to this day, when I go to sit down to write out my meal plan, it's not fun, right? It's not the highlight of my day, let's say. But I know it's important because at least I have a skeleton. I have something that I can look at. I can put it on the fridge, or I can keep it in my pocketbook, or I can keep it near the kitchen if I'm home that day, let's say cooking or whatever, preparing stuff, or if I'm out at the office. I take that piece of paper with me. When I used to work full-time in my corporate job, I kept that little piece of paper in my lunch bag, so I always knew what I was going to be eating that day. The way I start is, when I first started, was I went to my 21 Day Fix book, and I went through, all the pages, the page on blue, the page on orange, the page on red, the page on purple. And of course, all these things I would have already purchased and put in my fridge. So what I would do was I would stand in front of my fridge, with my book and with like a piece of paper, and I would say to myself, okay, what do I like to eat? I mean, the whole point of this program is that it's customized, right? And so you have to pick what kinds of food you want to eat. People can share in the group and give a gazillion recipes, but if somebody puts up a recipe that's not really your thing and you don't really like it, then I wouldn't expect you to make it, right? I would expect you, like, if you're a person who like loves steak and loves chicken, then that week pick some things to make. Put a steak on the grill, or just put in the pan, get some grilled chicken, make that in bulk in your oven. Make the things that you like. If you're a potato person or you're a quinoa person, you like yams, you're a person who loves broccoli. Well, by golly, just go buy the broccoli, steam it up, put some olive oil on it. But those are things that you're going to pick and you're going to write down just on a piece of paper. Like, for lunch, I feel like having this tomorrow. Dinner, I think tomorrow night I'm going to make my husband and my kids this. You're in charge, so you decide. I mean, the whole thing is like to make food fun, to pick the things that you like. So I go through this, and that's how I shop. And then I know the things in my fridge are what I'm going to write down. The other thing is each person has their own lifestyle, their own family. The way this program kind of meshes with your lifestyle. For me, I do 2 meal plans. So I'm always 2 meal plans ahead of myself. So I don't write out the whole week in advance, but I do always do 2 days ahead of time. And I do that because sometimes things come up. I have to go to an event, or maybe somebody invites us out to a restaurant or dinner, or, you have plans, but they can change. So you want to have some flexibility. I would do that, and I would put it right on your fridge or keep it with you in your bag at the office, but have that list out in the morning so you know what you're going to write. The other thing is, you have to eat everything in those columns. I know it's going to seem a little bit crazy, and personally, somebody who has a history, like me, who in my early 20s, I was anorexic, bulimic, eating a lot of food was weird for me. But I know that if I don't eat every category on that list, as you guys have learned, your body holds onto it. Your body says, no way, man, no way. I'm not giving this stuff up because I feel like, there's going to be a war tomorrow and I've got to like sustain what I have. That's what your body's going through. So you have to make sure that, for example, you get in all those oils and all those nut butters. So if you're someone like in column 2 where you're supposed to be having like 4 oils a day, let's say, or you're in that column where you're supposed to have 3 fruits and 3 carbohydrates, man, you better make sure that you're eating them, because if you don't eat them, you're doing your body a disservice. And that's the thing, we have been bombarded for decades, social media, magazines, all these fads diets that, I remember when, my mom was on Weight Watchers, like back in the early 90s, and, things have changed. Like there's this idea among, let's say that like a common theme trend among the population that, eat like a rabbit, eat like almost nothing, just have your light little salad and your little chicken breast, and don't put any fat on it, no oil, fat-free this, low calorie that. That's, as you guys know, that's not how it works. How it works is you include your fats, you include your carbohydrates, you include your sugars, your fruit, you include your veggies and your protein. And the other thing is, just saying I'm going to shove it all in my mouth in the evening is not going to do it either. It's got to be spaced out somewhat. Get a vegetable in the morning, put it in your shake, put something in for the lunchtime, put it in the evening. But that's the key, guys. And so I guess I want to ask you, what is scaring you about having to write out the meal plan? Is it just the time? Is it just that it's a pain in the ass and like you don't want to sit there and have to write it? Because for me, it is. But the thing is, if you can just do like 2 days ahead of time, let's say, or 2 or 3 days, get the skeleton written. And it only takes a couple minutes. When I actually sit down and write it or put it on my phone, I have clients who put it on their phone too and just like text it to their like a notepad. It only takes like maybe 15 minutes to do 2 days worth. Stand in front of your fridge and just mark off. Tomorrow I want to eat this, 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 and this. And tomorrow night I feel like I'm going to make this. And then just do it. It's right there, and just follow it. So tell me and your coaches how, like, in what way is it scaring you? So tell us what you need and what is holding you back from doing it. And then we can talk about it and we can see how we can get you better resources. But basically that's what you have to do. You have to stand in front of your fridge, look at the food that you like, and for goodness sakes, like, put down the food that you want to have. That's the whole point. It's customized, right? So make it fun and make it something that you're going to enjoy.